Beautiful. Normally they swim with the arms that he has tucked away. Usually those go in sort of a sideways movement down its body. But he seems to be doing something. Maybe he's eating?
Zooming out. Holding.
So Jeff Drazen, who has done a lot of work with these shrimp, thinks that this is a Acanthophyra. That's the genus of shrimp that it may be.
Yeah, he's not letting us see the other side here.
It's because he's not ready. Yeah, doesn't have his makeup on. Doesn't have his makeup on. Okay, that's great.
Zoom
Thank
out.
you, pilots. We can move
Zooming
on.
out. Full wide.
Yeah, just turn 90 degrees.
Looks like we're about to pass over another Brazingid. We
So
don't need to zoom on it.
Okay.
No, we've seen one already for today.
Might be getting stretched out there.
So despite the amount of sediment on this seamount, we're not really seeing a lot of characteristic soft sediment fauna, like Holothurians and other deposit feeders. It's all just
Do you
been...
think that's a current thing?
Or what are the currents like here, Pilot?
There's no current at all.
Okay, so
so
earlier we
no.
saw ripples, but up here it's just flat.
But
I'm
yeah,
starting
just a lot of hard
starting to pull
substrate
you,
dwelling
co-pilot.
animals, really.
I'll,
Sponges,
come closer.
crinoids,
I said I'm starting to pull you. I'm coming
as well
closer.
as mobile fauna like shrimp.
I guess there was a, what, did they go 15 meters back or something?
Yes.
So there's that little bit of swing too.
Yeah.
15 back, 50 ahead.
Lots of feeding tracks on the seafloor you can see there, which is also known as Lebensspuren.
Video quick zoom on the track.
Zooming in.
That's likely from a Holothurian or
Hold there.
Sikiamo
Holding.
or Echinoid or Urchin. Usually Echinoderm.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good up close,
Made.
actually. Okay, you can go wide.
Zooming out. Full wide.
Thank you. Let's see, quick zoom on center.
Zooming in. Holding.
So that's another one of the xenophyrophores, the
okay.
single-celled forearms that create the huge tests.
Create the huge what's?
Tests, so basically it's the animal is one cell,
Yes.
and then they create this house or
Oh, okay.
test, which is what you're seeing on the seafloor.
Sometimes they're round.
Exactly,
Too, right?
so
Yeah.
sometimes they can be
Okay.
plate-shaped like what we're seeing, or they can be reticulated, so they look kind of like a sponge morphology, like, you know, like a bath sponge, kind of sat on the seafloor.
Mhm.
Okay.
They're really
Okay.
fascinating,
Going
and
out.
as I said before, not a lot is known about them.
Full wide.
So what looks like another shrimp just floating straight in front of us.
Should we like a zoom pilot?
Yeah, go for it.
Zooming in.
Is it, it could actually be the same one.
It could exactly be the same one.
We'll get
Oh,
this
does he
side
have
of
his,
him.
yeah, so he's got his little arms tucked up,
Holding.
legs
Okay.
tucked up again. So I think this may be the same one. So Jeff, you are getting that view which you wanted to get before, which we
Excellent.
were unable to.
Oh, I'm going
Yeah,
to zoom out a
come
bit.
Out of touch, yeah. Keep him in.
I'm going to, oh, full wide.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
So we kind of tricked him and came around from the other side.
Oh, scared him.
Finally.
Great, thank you, pilot.
You're full
I
wide.
think Jeff was very happy with that.
Come on.
So from a geology standpoint, well, we're looking at a fairly sedimented slope. At the moment, there are really very few, if no, outcrops visible. So it's sort of random pieces of talus. See if we can maybe come upon another outcrop soon, so we might be able to grab a third rock if possible.
Yeah, I wonder if we were lucky to come down on those outcrops.
I do wonder if it's... Are we a little bit offset from whatever kind of ridge feature we're near?
We're actually coming up a valley.
Yeah, we're on a valley.
Yeah, so we're in a valley. I'm trying to look at the high back and figure out where we are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you zoom-
here, I'll zoom out a bit.
It's a shallow valley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we may... It's possible we may want to try to get out of the valley a little bit.
yeah, the dive track had the 2 points were straight up a valley, so but we can certainly.
Probably would mean defining a different endpoint.
Okay. Never mind then.
But
Straight
that is
ahead.
that's fine with us. Can you zoom out one more to see waypoint?
I'm going there
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It'll keep.
Yeah, so actually we should be into tighter contours and steeper relief.
We have
Eventually.
about 150 meters till there.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
So that's not 160 anymore. That's like
Nav
190,
bridge
right?
move complete.
What was that?
I mean, it was originally about 180 to the waypoint one.
Yeah.
We're at 190 now.
Yeah, so we might want to adjust our next move to start headed that way,
Okay.
if that's...
At least go to 180 maybe.
Yeah, I think actually 180 is like right perpendicular with the contours. That might be nice.
Oh, I have the lasers off. Do you want them back on?
Sure. Good.
So in general, keep them on until we're going in close to something.
Yeah, we like to get
So we're seeing scattered rocks
them on
here
it
and there.
and then turn them off for
Yeah.
nice shots. Yeah.
At the moment, we haven't
So I'll
really
try
seen an
to
outcrop that
paint
it's
it
coming
first
from.
with them.
Could we look at the sea star at the different one if it's possible?
Oh, the sea star we just passed?
Yeah, I thought I saw something. I thought it was another crinoid. No one mentioned it, but I will back up.
This is a different
Oh, yeah,
hold
that's different.
up and filter the water.
All right. Setting down.
This is going to be in the family Brasingidi. The ones we've been seeing are in the family Fraiellidae.
So, Chris, do you just want to image this?
Yes, please. I think just imaging
Okay,
is
there's the
fine.
lasers. Okay, you can get the lasers off, Copilot. And
Lasers off.
video, you're free to zoom.
Zooming in. Holding.
Okay, I'll keep coming down to it.
So this sea star has 8 arms. It's Brasidic. I can't even pronounce it. Chris, can you pronounce that again, please?
There we go.
Yes, so the family is Brasingidi.
Thank you.
And they're a really fascinating group of sea stars because a lot of
Okay,
sea
video,
stars
you
are
can zoom as you
deposit
want.
feeders.
Zooming in.
So they keep their tube feet on the ground,
hold here.
and they sort of work their way along the substrate or the sediment, and the tube teeth are used to help collect pieces of detritus and things and move it toward the mouth where the center disc is. But this guy, he's figured out that if he lifts his arms up and holds them up sort of backwards, he can use them to filter the water column and catch things that are drifting by. And so that's why he's on a rock. He's just waiting for something to ensnare.
So this one could be from the genus Fraiella,
Zooming
because it
out.
has 8
All
arms. And we do also see
Hold it.
see these in the Eastern Pacific as well.
So it's been about 12 minutes. You want to go ahead and put in one at
Zooming out.
180? Should move 50 meters.
Full wide.
Thank you, video. So the ship started 12 minutes ago?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, let me get aimed the right way and out ahead, and then we can do it.
Okay.
Let's just give it another minute or two.
And we're looking at 180 right now, 150.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to change
Oh,
the heading
you-
of the
you
ship a
want me to
little
change
bit
my
and
heading?
try to wiggle our way
yeah,
a little
we
bit
can go
further
to
outside
180.
this valley on our way to waypoint 1, which is
That'll
still quite a
actually-
ways away.
It'll actually,
So we
How
all
much more
set it
time
up
do we have
already.
left on this dive, Eva?
We have an hour and a half left.
All
on
right.
this dive.
We'll be.
No,
Yeah, I think you're right.
yeah, 225. Yes,
Sort
an hour
of
and a half.
So in that
Fish
next
up
hour and
top?
a half, we're going to try to make our
In the
way
distance.
towards waypoint 1.
Sure. Is it
Can we
trout?
see
Oh,
the
yeah, I
white?
think it's a fish.
what is that?
I think it's a fish. So can we zoom on the fish, please?
Sure
It
thing.
is a fish.
Okay, want to get the lasers on?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
This is
Bridge nav.
Yeah, if we could get that fish, that'd be great. Jeff's hopping up and down.
Go
right
ahead and
now.
add this
For
bridge.
zoom.
There.
We put in a
Lasers.
50-meter move at 180
Okay.
at 0.2
Video, you're
knots,
free to zoom?
please.
So this
Zooming in.
definitely looks like a different fish to the one we
Repeat,
saw
you requesting
earlier.
move, range
Hold it.
50 meters, bearing 180, speed 0.2.
Last here.
Good copy.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, so I just thought
Playing
I would
hard to
call
get.
and confirm
Traveling ahead.
that percentage you saw did indeed look to me like Fraiella. Or
Yeah.
Nav, bridge move initiated.
There are a couple of other subtle ones that you can only tell apart from examination. Fraiella and Phrastra are pretty common sort of abyssal members, and so this might be the first sort of proper Fraiella.
It might be hard to get anything but
since
its
we started
tail disappearing.
Even being Phrastra. It might also be of interest to people that all of these are named after the Greek goddess Freya.
Want to go into a little tighter video?
Sure.
I think we'll just
Fraiella
lose them
is
eventually.
derived from her name, and
Wanna hold here?
Phrastra literally means Freya's star.
Okay.
Astra meaning star.
You can
Freya
go wide.
Okay,
being
zooming
her
out.
name.
It's just swimming way
A
faster
little
and
bit of
faster.
interesting filming.
I wonder
baseball
why.
trivia for Saturday.
I wonder
That's
why.
great. Thank you so much for calling in, Chris.
More.
lasers back on.
Thanks, Chris.
Chris, that's so mean to correct me in public.
So that fish before
Trying to help.
that fish before well, it's already gone. But we think that's an Ophidiid as well, which seems to be the most common family we're seeing on today's dive and yesterday's dive. And it's likely from the genus Basazetus again, but it looks like a different one to the one we saw earlier.
So anytime you want to call on that move now.
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. I got distracted by the fish. Video quick zoom. I think it's another Xena 5-4.
Zooming in. Holding.
Yep.
Very good, pilot. You're just gonna, now that you've seen one, you're just gonna see them everywhere.
Okay.
All right.
Zooming out.
The plate.
Not the most to look at.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I see they're sticking up. There's probably 6 or 7 in view now.
Yeah, they're pretty common in most of the abyssal seafloor areas. And it's thought that these xenos may form an intermediate link in the trophic chain between bacteria and multicellular organisms. And therefore, they can make a pretty significant contribution to carbon cycling, it's thought. So they may seem like nothing, but they probably do play quite a big role.
So now I'm pretty sure we can just add another ship move to the end of this one.
Okay. Do you want me to add it now or in 7 minutes?
Whatever is easier.
Okay.
I guess right before they stop is easier in case we do stop.
Okay.
Quick zoom video.
Zooming in. Holding.
So that could be a different type of xenofire. So the ones we saw before are plate-like, and these may be also plate-like, but sort of agglutinated plates.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to tell sometimes whether
Zooming
it's
out.
just some, mush or is actually a xeno.
There's some terrain on Sirius to port.
I'm seeing that.
Kind of
I was
a ridge
looking at
forming.
the.
So that'd be off to the east. There's nothing on.
Yeah,
for
there's.
that. It's 25 meters out. It could just be a small ridge in the sand. It doesn't look too dramatic.
So we're wandering across a bunch of sediment right now. It seems to be a little bit more pebbly than some of the ones we had seen previously. It looked like it's a little more coarse-grained. Very few rocks, and the rocks that we're seeing are very small right now. So we might be running into a little outcrop or perhaps just some larger rocks. Let's see what we find.
Yeah, we're still 14
Patty,
meters over the
just,
floor
A
there.
comment about the sediment. These little
know
white
what that is.
patches that are kind of mounds that we're seeing in the center of the screen suggests to me that there's a lot of bioturbation in this sediment.
Thanks, Patty. So in case you couldn't hear, she thought that the white patches are likely to be products from bioturbation. That makes a lot of sense.
And so that could mean that, especially perhaps these ones right in front of us, that means that there may be a lot of epifauna, so animals that live on the sediment, although we're not seeing that. That sort of in their feeding and moving and other biological processes that they go through, they may sort of turn up the sediment and leave tracks and other things, but then also in fauna, so animals that live within the sediment, again, during their biological processes, they result in sediment being mixed from, vertically from the top to below. So that's definitely bioturbation. Thank you, pilots. That's great.
Whenever you're ready, video.
Zooming out.
So Les, looks like he's saying he thinks there's definitely some scour removing the sediment veneer, and I have to agree. Certainly when we were doing a close-up on that area of bioturbation, we could see that the pebbles were definitely sitting above any finer grained sediment.
Bridge nav.
Go ahead.
Can we put in another 50 meter move at 180 at 0.2 knots right at the end of this one?
Continuing on, 50 meters, bearing 180, speed 0.2.
Good copy.
can we zoom on the right thing, the white thing on the left side of this rock, please?
I see it.
It may just be rock.
Yeah, it's looking like that. Video, can you zoom?
Zooming in. Holding here.
Yep, just rock.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So little biology around here.
It is really interesting. This is the least abundant that we've seen in our
Okay,
four
yeah,
dives so
go
far.
ahead.
Yeah.
And it's not very diverse, right? You've seen several of the same thing.
Yeah,
Full wide.
definitely.
Thank you, video.
Scientists on shore, do you have any reason why that might be true for this area?
Nobody has any reasons. That's okay. We can continue to refine the hypotheses as the dive goes on.
I'm used to not being answered. It's all right.
Nav, can you set my sonar to medium resolution? Let's see if I can find anything.
So we have an answer to my question from
No,
the shore-based
no, I
science.
meant just up top.
Scott,
There's
well, at least
low,
a postulation. So Scott said that it might be related to how
yeah.
much food
Yep,
is
I
actually
gotcha.
getting down into this area,
Did it,
and maybe there
Let's
isn't
see it.
that much.
Now see all the rocks appear more, less as smears and more
And that
together.
is related to
Okay.
the same
Just
question
it
that
moves
Tim
more
was
slowly,
asking
though,
about
okay.
whether there are currents in this area. I believe we had currents towards the beginning of the dive, but I asked about it maybe a half an hour ago, and at that time there were no currents whatsoever.
No, it's really been very little.
Yeah, no currents.
And we
Very
are
little?
And we are down in this little valley. That
Yeah, so-
would slow it down too.
Because of the bathymetry, because we're in a little valley, we might not just be feeling them.
Was this site picked specifically to explore valley?
The other thing
Terrain?
we noticed in the sediments is that there are virtually no ripple marks in this material.
Which makes sense, though, because most of the finds don't appear to be here anymore, right?
Yeah, that's right. It looks like it's been more or less west of those finds, and we're seeing more heavy distribution of bulk pebbles.
See, Nav, I found something in my sonar.
Oh. I see.
Well, no.
What is it?
Probably rock.
Camera, that
But you know what lives on rocks?
Things.
Critters.
Critters, yes.
Pilot.
So it looks like we're approaching a rock in the distance with some animals on it, maybe.
Oh, there it is. Is your
So Scott's continuing with our why are there so few animals around here?
how's the
He
sensitivity?
was
Do you
saying
like
that he
the
was
sensitivity
thinking-
there, or do you want to increase
Pardon?
it?
It looks good.
Oh, was that
Okay.
me?
It's a
No,
little
okay.
bright, maybe.
So
Okay, I'm gonna
perhaps
just
it's
get
related
just
to
a
the amount of
tad.
food which is getting to the sea floor, as Dab and Scott were saying, but there is a little bit of current here, and so if there were enough food, there would be also suspension feeders to capture it, of which we have seen a couple. I mean, we've seen some crinoids, we've seen some
Do you want to zoom on this?
sponges.
Zooming in?
Yes, please.
What is the white stuff on the other rock?
Well,
too?
I
Will
think
it
that
go?
might be a sponge. So this is
Holding.
another possibly higher crinid, so 5-armed deep-sea stalked crinoid. But so then Scott was saying that perhaps the fact that we're in a valley is the explanation for how few animals we're seeing. Maybe on the ridges flanking this valley,
Okay, that's
where the
all
currents
yours,
are
Lydia.
Zooming
accelerated,
in.
there'll be more suspension feeders and
Tilt up.
more other types of animals that rely on that current to get
Holding.
the food to them.
That's very interesting. That makes a lot of sense. To a non-biologist.
Great pilots. And when you're finished, could we pan to the right and look at the
Okay, zooming out.
crab? No, sponge, which is on the rock behind.
Holding
All right.
for a second.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Just need a frame. Full wide.
See, I'll get a sponge up here, and there's also a shrimp. Okay, want to go in on the sponge?
Sure. Zooming in.
Again, the biologist remains silent.
Holding.
Or the white patch, I should say.
No, so I think this is rock. Fooled
It's a weird
again.
looking sponge.
Yeah, I agree. I think these are exposures of the interior
Yeah.
of whatever this big things that just hit it and knocked off that that dark coating, which is probably
Okay, zooming out.
Okay.
Or
I'm going to agree with Patty,
Yeah.
but then Patty, what does that?
You can
What
zoom
type
out,
of
I'll
rock
go
is
over
this
it
then?
again.
That's
All right.
that's so white
Just
inside. I
sure
understand
science
that
is
there's
Probably
looking
just
at it.
altered, is my guess.
a
That's
manganese
partial.
coating on the outside, but then
Patty, are we looking at an alteration product?
it's a shrimp.
ooh, yeah, there's a shrimp.
Okay.
Let's
can go in
zoom on
video.
the shrimp.
Zooming in.
It's over in the right-hand corner above
I
Carl's
don't
head.
know. If it's igneous, it's really heavily altered.
Holding.
But what intrigues me is the fact that there appear to be linear
Oh,
veins
sediment.
of dark
Zooming in.
material that are exposed in some of those areas
Holding.
where the crust is broken off. And that looks a lot like what we saw yesterday on the Serena Canyon dive in some of the sedimentary material. So could this be a big block of sediment that had been deposited on
Zooming
the
out
seamount a
just a
long
bit.
time ago
Okay.
that has
Holding.
the same sort of fracturing and infilling?
Pilot, can we look at the coral as well to the right, please?
Okay, zooming out.
Yes. Stay there, video.
Partial.
So that shrimp was likely a Nemataka sinus, like we saw earlier.
This
They've
is
got
on.
these characteristic,
Okay.
very, very long legs and antennae, and then also that very tapered body towards the end of the tail.
Slipped a
And
little
we
bit.
think they may be a coral
Okay, video. You can go in.
Zooming in.
to the right of the shrimp.
Lasers off.
That's full zoom.
Little coral.
No, so I think Tina's right. Is this a coral? I'm thinking it's a bryozoan. Ooh, and there's also a tube worm to the right of it. That is right. Can we zoom on both of those, please?
Yeah, this is full zoom. They're very
Oh.
small, maybe just a centimeter.
Where's the tube
You
worm?
can just see that the tube that's waving around.
Yeah.
So you can just see the feeding series extended out of the end.
I'm going to take your word for that, Tia.
Yeah.
I see them. There's eight little
Oh,
tentacles.
now I see it. So it's likely a sabellid, which is a type of filter-feeding polychaete that lives in tubes which it constructs.
Looks like Cirrus is starting to get over you as
Okay.
well.
And our biologists on shore have concluded that is a bryozoan rather than a coral. So thank you very much, pilots.
Okay,
You're
zooming out.
All right, I think we
Time
need to
to
keep
move
moving a
on.
little bit.
Yep, happy to do so.
Yep.
We got a little bit of time. I know we're coming to the end in about 4 minutes, Full but wide.
Lasers on.
we'll still be moving for then.
Okay, so I hope we can head for that white. I know, may just now every time I'm going to see a
Yeah,
white thing, I'm
you're
just going to be
pretending-
worried it's a rock
Or
trash. Or trash.
That's trash.
Looks like a beer fish.
Wait.
Okay, video. Let's do a zoom. I do believe it's trash. but-
Zooming
No,
in.
not beer. It's a different species.
No, people,
rock.
it's a rock.
It's a
It's a rock.
Yeah.
So
Same,
the rocks are just
zooming
out to
out.
fool us today.
But that's actually mildly comforting,
wide.
right? Because
Yeah.
for a while we haven't seen trash now.
Yeah.
So it's unlike the beginning of our dive when it felt like every time we turned around we saw another piece of trash. Now at least we're looking at interesting things that are natural to the seafloor. So we're back. We've got a little bit
Once
of
you
a
get out
tailless
ahead
slope.
here, I can go ahead and call in another move.
We're still looking at that
Okay.
more
It's just
scoured
been
type of
stopped for a while.
sediment.
It's been stopped for a while.
There's not a ton of finds here, although there are probably a little bit more than some we've seen.
2 minutes here. It'll be 20 minutes since we moved, since we started the move before.
There's no need to wait, right? It's going to take 10 minutes for us to see it.
We're still moving. I mean, it's not halted yet, but yeah, I can go ahead and call it right now.
Yeah,
Now we're
Bridge, we should
slowly
have stopped
wiggling
now.
our way a little bit
It'll
more
start
upslope.
steepening up. But
Copy that, Bridge. We're going to go ahead and put in another 50-meter move. That's 50 meters at 180 at 0.2 knots.
50 meters, bearing 180, speed 0.2.
Good copy.
how far away are those tighter contours? Like 3 contours up?
I wonder what's coming up in front of us.
I think we have a coral straight ahead, don't we?
I would say to start about there. So 80
Is there
80
something
meters
in
or so.
that center of the screen towards the top right now?
But let's see.
Oh, no, right in front of us.
It's
Right in front of us at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
And then I
video?
think there's something on the rock to
Zooming
the
maybe
left as
150
well.
meters.
I mean, I think that's just a rock.
No,
Yeah,
the one to the
Bridge
left.
ship
had
movement
The
initiated.
white patch.
Thanks,
No,
Bridge.
no, it wasn't white. It was like, it had arms.
Okay,
Holding.
so this is another one of the same patch.
No,
Bridge.
no, it wasn't white. It was like, it had arms.
Okay,
Holding.
so this is another one of the same corals which we've collected already. A primnoid, likely from the genus Candidella. And it's an interesting find, which is why we collected it, because it only has 2 polyps per whorl.
Oh,
Whenever you're done video.
Zooming out.
Thank you, pilots.
over there on that
Full
left
wide.
rock. On right, coming
Far
right off the
away?
screen. No, right. It's at the bottom of the screen right now.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a
A Brazingid again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any interest?
Nah.
Has one very long.
It has something next to it, though. Yeah, let's, if we can do a quick zoom.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it looks like he has one long arm, and then the others have been
Yeah, that's what's odd. Okay, video.
chomped.
Zooming in.
And Sirius is coming over the top of me. I'll have
Yes,
to-
that's exactly what that is. So you can see he's got 2 long
Oh,
arms.
yeah, look at that.
And he's
Cool.
regrowing 4 of them. So he obviously had a really traumatic time at
He
some
has.
point.
He's had a rough life.
Yeah.
Do you think these fish down here chomp on
Yeah,
them?
so that
Yeah.
could be...
So
I don't
maybe-
think the ophidioids we've been seeing, but, I mean, perhaps it is some kind of other predation we've been seeing. I think ophidioids
Another
usually just eat
Friella?
amphipods. So this is a Phreastera, given that it has 6
Once we
arms.
clear video, we'll have to move on.
Okay. Zooming out.
The Friellas tend to have 8.
Good
Full
call.
wide.
Okay, making a dash uphill.
All right, let's go see what's
So what are
upslope.
those-
So, as an update,
What's the
450 meters to waypoint 1.
Okay.
We have about 60 minutes of move time on bottom.
Yeah, so it does appear to be getting a little steeper here. I'll move under you, co-pilot, and you can pull up.
Go.
So now that we're starting to move up a little bit of a steeper slope, leaving that valley behind, we might be able to find one more rock sample that will help our scientists with their search for knowledge about the age of this seamount.
Nice outcrop here.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Oh, it's more with another
I'll just-
Brazingid. Looks like 8 arms. Oh, 2 Brazingids. Okay.
Now, see, to me, those look like fractured pillows.
So this is exactly right what Scott was saying, that perhaps once we sort of move to the areas where there were rocky outcrops, where there would be more current flowing by, there would be more suspension feeders. So right here on this rock we can see 2 quite large Brazingids, both of which have 8 arms, so likely Friellas.
That one had 10, didn't it?
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I think so.
10?
That is possible as well.
Wow.
This is Patty. I think this block we're looking at
How tall is that
has
outcrop?
the morphology of
I'm 3 up. It's maybe.
sure.
It has what? Can you repeat that?
Right side of the center block, you can see cooling cracks on a curved surface.
Right, so it's pillows, right?
Right in. Yeah, I think these are pillows.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can actually get a piece of something from this block, or maybe one of the pieces that have fallen off. at the base of it
Oh, I see
might
it.
be loose.
I'm not sure that we can stop right now, but I can ask.
Yeah, we're moving pretty quickly now.
Yeah, they're moving right now, so unfortunately we're
but-
going to have to probably leave this this behind.
But we were moving quickly to get to the steeper terrain ahead that should have
but
more rocks.
maybe,
we hope.
maybe we'll see more of this sort of thing a little further up.
Right. And so pilots, this is absolutely the kind of stuff that we'd like to be able to sample. I realize
Okay.
you don't do the in situ part, but if there is rubble around that type of outcrop again, that's kind of what we'd be looking for.
Gotcha. Well, we'll hope to see more ahead when Sears is stopped.
Absolutely.
We'll grab some.
Yeah, we're just heading into that steeper terrain, so they'll be good.
How much does the ship have left in its move, or is it done?
It's got 23 meters.
Okay, so Sirius probably hasn't even quite started from that one yet, right?
No.
Okay. So, still have 50 to go before we stop. What's this?
So if you're just joining us, we are at 3,717 meters depth on Enigma Seamount, a seamount south of the Marianas
Can
Trench.
we look at that sponge, please?
Sure, pilots, can we zoom on this?
Sorry.
Yes?
Yeah, sorry. We missed the other one. We took off without checking it out, so it'd be good to check this one out.
That's not, is it?
It's a
A
move.
stalk sponge. Or is it a tunicate?
I think it's a stock sponge.
It's got a stock.
Yeah.
It is, so that looks like a hyalinema.
I like how it's found the only rock in the vicinity. It's like, check it out.
Let's sample that rock.
Sounds like a super for me.
Might be too tall to set down, actually. Let me see.
That's
So
nice.
it has a really,
Yeah.
really, really thin spine.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay, video.
Spine stalk,
Zooming in.
that's what I meant.
Yeah. It's okay. We were with you anyways.
Let me,
That's
Holding.
beautiful.
So I'm thinking hyalinema, Chris? Is that what you're thinking?
tilt up a little and
Yeah,
spin over.
so there's another thing called hyalosis that kind of looks like what we're looking at is the stalk, and the stalk not lopophytus, which means it is not fibrous.
He's
and
waving around too.
hyalina is
Oh.
characterized by having something. So if that's the case, then this would be in the Euplectelli, a totally different order, actually, of sponge.
I think he's coming back.
You were really broken up, Chris, so you think it's a euplectellid? Is that what you're saying? Because the stalk isn't,
Okay, when you're clear video.
isn't fibrous?
just a bit more.
That's correct.
Zooming out.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Just a hair.
certain that
Yeah,
most,
he's
if
going
not
out. Okay,
all
zooming out.
of the members of
Full wide.
the Hyalinimatidae, that family, have a fibrous stalk. This looks solid.
Great, thank you, Chris. So the moral of the story is I'm not going to ID any more sponges.
Fish. Little fish.
Fish, yeah.
Quick zoom on the fish.
All right, let's do it video.
Zooming in. Holding.
Oh,
He's
That
gonna-
fish did not want
Wanna
to be
go wide
photographed.
video?
Going wide.
So he looked quite eel-like.
Yeah, he
Gone.
did. Very thin.
Okay, I'm going to push ahead.
Euplectella? No, that's the sponge.
That's a sponge, yeah.
The danger of just reading right off the event log.
Yeah, Jeff was thinking a halosaur, which are also quite eel-like. It was also quite thin, so it wasn't chunky like a snaphobranchid.
Say that 3 times fast.
Snaphobranchid, snaphobranchid, snaphobranchid.
So we're kind of crawling up this slope, and we're starting to see now we've
Can we zoom on the little white thing? Is that possible? Are we moving too quickly? I think
nope.
it might just be a
No.
rock.
We've left behind that
Do a snap zoom.
kind
video?
of pebbly
Zooming in.
sediment, and we're looking more now at very small
Holding.
talus
Oh.
Yeah.
that does look volcanic.
Burrito.
Is it tinfoil? No, it's a white rock, I think.
Okay. I don't know
Weird
what
rock.
it is. Yeah, we'll move on
Zoom
from
in
that
tighter.
one.
Or
Yeah, go for
But
it.
Okay.
notice that you're in an area where there's all of a sudden much more
Holding.
rock.
Okay.
Interesting about those pebbles. Sort of intermixed between
All right, you can go wide video.
Zooming out.
pebbles and what look like pieces of talus.
Full wide.
Thank you.
Patty, typically what we see in talus piles like this from the first diving is fine.
Now, if you can zoom my sonar down to like 30 meters, you can see we can't see any farther ahead now that we're on a slope.
Until you get to the actual bar, the materials derived.
Can we zoom on this white piece of the rock, please?
Yeah, and then there's something above it too.
So unfortunately, the audio is getting super
Video, quick zoom on
choppy,
the
and we're
white
having
spot.
a hard
Okay,
time
the white one
understanding.
looks, the lower one looks like it might just be rock.
Yeah.
But I think
so.
what
So let's
Patty,
zoom on the upper one.
I think what Patty was saying
rough.
was that normally this would be sort of
Coming
the
up, you can
distal
stay
end
there,
of
video.
the scree
Okay.
slope, that we're looking at the very small tailings, and that as we move up this slope, we'll expect to see bigger and bigger pieces until eventually we find the in situ outcrop that these rocks came from.
So if we want
That's
to
what I think
sample
she
anytime
said.
now, I won't call
So
it
this is
another
like
ship
another
move because
colofake
we are
sponge.
stationary.
Ship
Wait,
is-
hang on.
okay.
So we're stationary. This might be a good place to collect a rock.
The ship is stationary. I
Oh, the
think.
ship is stationary.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's gorgeous. Is that a sponge too?
Yeah, so that's probably a colofake sponge like the one we saw before at the beginning of this dive. Beautiful. And there's also a little crustacean on its stalk, I think.
I'll drop down to the crustacean.
Zooming in.
Okay, go for it.
Holding.
So I should mention to those people who are listening at home or our shore-based scientists, Patty, who's been giving us a ton of great geology
we kill
information
the
today
lasers?
and hopefully on many dives on this leg, will actually be the geology science lead for the next ROV expedition, which will be in the Northern Marianas.
June.
So in June. So we're really excited because she's just
Nav
going to be
bridge
firecracker
complete.
here,
That's
interpreting
okay.
geology
That was
left
nice.
and right.
That was
Yeah, you
nice.
wanna go ahead?
Yep.
Great, thank
Actually,
you,
I'm going to hold
pilot.
it here for a second.
Sure.
We can't just reach out and grab that rock, can we? Like
The whole rock?
No, just a little piece of it. Like
Okay, zooming out full wide.
All right, coming up. Yeah, I think in a couple minutes we'll be at a comfortable place to sample a rock if we want one.
fantastic, thank you.
Do you agree, Nav?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Bob and Patty, who I think are the only geologists on the call right now, I think that we could collect one more rock before we have to leave bottom. Not more than one rock, just one rock. So you may want to think carefully about what you'd like to pick up.
Okay, thank you. That would be wonderful. Yeah, I would
So
say as we go up
typically what will
a
happen
little
is all
farther, if we can find pieces that have that angular pillow fragment look to them, sort of triangular with a curved surface
And if we're not
opposite the point of the triangle.
Going to sample, then I can call another one
that would be
because
great.
it's been
Okay, I think we can. Hopefully, we will find another area where there are angular
13
pillow
minutes.
fragments.
All right,
Because I
let's
agree
give
with
it
you.
a-
I
for a
don't
little
really
bit,
want to
maybe
keep
5
picking up
minutes or so.
these super rounded, somewhat crusty looking guys if we could get a nice angular piece.
Yeah, let's give it some time. There's some nice stuff coming up in Sirius, I think. And even if we weren't sampling, we would want to start moving more cautiously, I think, given the tight contours. There could be, like, what's the distance between, a couple of those?
it's getting to be 20 meters.
Okay, so it's not crazy, but what about the tightest at the top? Is that
Over
like 15?
here, we're looking.
Yeah, still about 20
15.
meters.
Yeah, so it's still less than 45 degrees on average, but there could be some,
Steep bits.
Got some rocks.
10-meter steep bits. There might be a pretty sharp, bump there where it goes from this to flat. Might be interesting.
Up here?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Oh, now we're getting into it. Look at these guys. And again, you can, if you look carefully at some of these, you can definitely see that somewhat circular shape that is very, very indicative of a pillow fracture. So these were probably pillow lavas that the faces have basically rolled down slope. So you can really see a lot of those nice circular shapes, and those are cooling cracks that Patty has described before.
And watch lead, we are in good positions.
Absolutely. I mean,
Where do you
these
want to
things
zoom
are
in on this
inside
pillow?
to,
For sampling.
Yep.
Zooming in.
Anything that
Yeah, right
is
there.
loose from this
That's
area
good.
would be perfect.
Holding.
Like down in the center that you just passed over.
Okay. So
They're searching now. Let's go wide.
You can see,
Zooming
yeah,
out.
these are great.
yeah, these would, so pilots, these would be a great, great thing to pick up. They, fingers crossed, they look a lot less altered than what we've seen further down slope. And any of these nice angular pieces would just be fantastic.
Okay.
I'm just excited we're finally seeing pillow basalts, even if they are a little chopped up.
Sirius should be close to finishing, but I think it's still going to swing a little bit more before it stops.
What we're looking at in the middle of the screen right now is probably all in situ and would be hard to pick up, but there's some pieces to the left,
Right, you mean? Right or left?
to the right, the other left. Yeah, just to the right of that, of where the laser points are now on the seafloor. Maybe some of those pieces could be picked up if they're loose.
Excellent. So amazingly enough, we actually just popped into yet another watch change for the ROV. We seem to like to do that right as we sample.
We're here.
You're there. I know you're there. And so.
And we're ready. Which one am I? I heard
So
to
it
the
wasn't
right.
a dig, Jeff.
It wasn't a dig. It was just an observation. And so I think actually the ones that are in the bottom middle of the screen right now,
One of those two.
that might be good. We're trying to make sure that we get one that looks like it's pretty close to that in situ little tiny isolated mound. So.
Okay, so hopefully the one closest to the mound. Otherwise, the next one over.
Perfect. I totally agree.
Navigator.
Now, of course, we're going to hope that that's actually a loose rock and not something that's buried deeply.
We just have one rock in the starboard box right now, correct?
My guess is the one.
No, there are two rocks
have a
already
rock in
collected:
each
port
box.
rock box and starboard rock box.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, Patty, what did you say?
And there's also a biological sample in the port inner.
Copy
the
that.
large piece just to the left of the laser beams is probably attached, but
Yeah.
the one that the right-hand laser beam is on right now may be loose.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think anything left of the lasers right now is something that's actually still in situ. But the one that the lasers are on might be a really good candidate.
Okay, so we're going for the right thing still. If I'm understanding
And I
correctly.
think there's a barnacle on the
preparing for
big
this,
rock
I
to the
wonder if
left,
they-
you know. So when we're done, we can
I wonder
always
if they
look
zoom
at
in on
it.
that gold
Biology.
thing that's
Copy that.
in the upper left.
Projecting from
Just don't want this to
Projecting
get too
from the
close.
rock
See
as
that?
they're setting up for the ROV.
Copy that.
Just keep a close eye.
I think we are swinging a little bit too.
Yeah. Carl said we got a little more swing, but shouldn't be too much. But keep a keen eye.
I'm hauling up right now, so
All right, thanks. Let me know if we got a boogie.
10-4.
If you think it's much, we can try to back the ship a little to just let Nav know, or let me know, or let us know.
How many meters out? Yeah. How much? Depends how much swing we have left.
Okay. Well, I'll see if these are even loose real quick.
Okay. You're spun up.
Thanks.
Your camera's fine for now, Jeff. We're going to swap real quick.
Yeah, they're good for now. Thanks.
Good luck.
Thanks. That one's loose.
Is it too big or will it fit? That one is
That one
not
is
moving.
not loose.
Yeah, so let's go for the loose one. Is it a reasonable size?
Looks reasonable to me. It's
Okay.
about 10 centimeters wide and maybe 20 long.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, but
It is kind of big, but it's going to break our bucket again. Maybe we don't put it in a bucket. Maybe I just carry it in.
carry it in, yeah.
do you want...
Did
Do we
you,
care?
did you try to give that one immediately under the limit a push?
Yeah, I think that one was. I think that one's loose.
The one I'm pointing at now is loose, and I
Yeah.
can grab it.
Yep, please do so.
Okay. Before I do, I think it's least like the one in the right box. Is that correct? Or I just have to open the lid on the left if we want that one. So I want to make sure I open the lid before I grab the rock.
I think it'd be okay if we put it in the starboard side. I think we can probably tell them apart once we look at the imagery. So if you just
Yeah, the other one was very round. This one looks kind
it
of
was
flat and
definitely
long.
around the other
Okay.
one.
especially if you just grab this and do a nice 360 beauty shot on it, we should be able to figure it out without a problem.
Roger that. And we'll go for it.
Yeah, I actually have noted that the second rock was very round.
Okay.
So,
Just get
And while we're
position
collecting
here.
this, I will just point out the lovely circular pattern in the lower left-hand corner that is so indicative of pillows. In case I haven't said it enough, which I think I have.
Okay. Pick it up to the light pool here. Tilt up with the camera. How are we doing, co-pilot?
I think we're doing pretty good.
Okay.
I'm looking at 80 degrees.
80?
Yep.
All right. And we've got a pretty good distance still. Roger. And let me just get this in a better position for spinning around. And zoom away.
All right. Keep spinning.
much craggier.
Yeah, you can actually see some of these cooling fractures. You can see where it's
There's a
slid
little red
along.
thing on it.
It's slid along those lines.
Sorry about the dust. I
That's
scooped
just
some up when
fine.
I picked up the rock.
I think we can live.
If
Yeah.
you hold there for a sec, I'll get a little closer zoom.
Whoa, extreme close up.
Can we look at what the red thing was on it? A little to the left and up?
Can leave
Yeah, do you
the-
see what I mean? In between
Yep,
the
stay
minutes.
zoomed in.
Yeah, I see what they're
Darwin
going
anywhere.
You want the bio, don't you?
I know, I'm like desperate. Anything.
for. Tiny piece of
Okay, yeah, that's
biology.
nothing. We can just put it in the box.
You want a little
All
more
right.
spinning, or
Yeah,
is that
could you do a little bit more spinning? I just want to make sure that we're
Yep.
crystal
Okay,
clear
holding
that
Marshall.
we know what the two different rocks in that box look like.
Yep. I'll make sure.
Boy, the angularity of this is great. I
Yeah.
don't think you'll have any trouble distinguishing it from the the other rock that's going to be in there.
I completely agree, Patty. Thank you, guys. That's fantastic.
Great.
All right, so I think we're putting this one in the starboard box, starboard forward rock box.
Yeah.
We are.
And so it's going to join its pal, the other rock.
Yep, the circular rock.
The circular rock. That's a great descriptor. In this case, it may work.
And then once it's in the rock box, we're going to zoom on that barnacle on the big rock.
Quickly, because
before
we don't
leave,
have a lot
please.
of time.
You like me to bring the wing inboard?
Yeah.
Coming in.
There's our other rock.
We're starting to swing towards the hill right now.
Okay.
Pilot.
Yeah, roger that. Gonna get it in the box and move on then.
Yep. Wing out forward.
Thank you so much.
And then this is just a reminder, if we could zoom in on that gold thing on the center upper part of the screen, just to confirm what it is.
Unfortunately, Sirius has been swinging, so we'll have to make a really, really, really quick work
Yeah,
of this.
just a super quick look. Thank you.
On your mark.
Go ahead, partial. Great,
Hold it,
thanks.
partial.
Turn.
And yes, that is a scalpelid, I think, barnacle. If we could, I can't really see the neck, but I think there is one. Yeah, a stalked barnacle.
Stock barnacle. Is
Tim,
that alright if
you
I take
agree?
off? 3, 2.
That was great. Thank
One.
you, pilots.
Great, thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And just as a reminder to those people who are on our shore-based science team, or who happen to be listening at home, that was pretty much our last rock sample for this dive. We've gotten 3 from different depths as we've moved up this slope, and hopefully it'll be really helpful in helping them to understand the formation of the seamount.
And we have about an hour left in this dive, a little less, actually, about 45 minutes left in this dive.
Another possible Caliphacus or something, but I really gotta run.
Yeah, that was some kind of sponge. It's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Don't apologize.
That's okay. Just enjoy the beautiful geology as we go by.
Oh, can we zoom on some of these as we're zooming by?
Is that our first? Is that a sea? That's not a sea pen. Is it?
No, that's a sponge
Got
as
a
well,
little
I
space
think.
to come up.
I've seen a lot of sponges today.
Snap zoom, snap zoom, snap zoom.
We're trying. I got a little momentum.
Sponge, if it's possible.
Backing. Takes a lot to stop 9,000 pounds. We're not in a hurry. Okay, come on in, video.
So, yep, definitely a sponge. That's great. If you have to go again, pilot, please do.
Got a second.
Yeah, we got a second.
Let me know if.
Well, it's great. So while they're
Do
imaging
you
that
want a
sponge,
longer
we can
look?
look at the nice angular talus that goes along with it.
Watch lead. Do you need
That's
a longer
great.
look?
No, that's great. Thank you.
Okay. All right, continuing on.
And there's also a pronoid coral, likely 2 of them to the left. They may be the same ones we've been seeing quite a lot of today, and also a sample of Candidella.
We're actually
A
also,
pronoid.
sorry. We're also looking at some pillows that aren't quite as fractured. If you're
Look
looking
at
at the
that.
lower
Look at that
right-hand
broken.
corner that's about to go off screen,
Go
you
partial
can
real
actually
quick
see
video.
some
Check
pillows
this
that are
shape
not
out.
quite as chopped up.
See this shape?
That's like a core.
Yeah, isn't that
Dude,
cool looking?
rock shape. Yeah, that's all.
So Chris is guessing that sponge is
All
from
right.
the